Hi everyone, it's Robin and welcome back. Today it is time to decorate for Christmas. I'm so excited. We survived Thanksgiving. I took a day off after Thanksgiving to just relax and recuperate from all that goes into hosting a Thanksgiving. And now I am ready to decorate. I apologize for my voice once again. If you are new to my channel, I lost my voice about 2 weeks ago. And it's still just kind of coming back. So I apologize. I wish I could talk better. It kind of comes and goes. But I'm too excited to decorate for Christmas to wait for my voice to come back. So hopefully you understand. And no, I don't normally sound like this. So today I thought I would take you along as I decorate my house. I'm so excited to start decorating for Christmas. I feel like I'm so behind because I waited until after Thanksgiving to decorate. But with the size of my house and the amount of people that we have coming over for Thanksgiving, it's just not feasible to decorate beforehand, because basically we take pretty much all the furniture out of the living room, dining room area. We set up a big old table and then like chairs and stuff, and it's very crowded. So there's no room for Christmas decorating, but that's all right because it works out in the end. I just always feel like I'm behind when it comes to Christmas decorating. So for my decor this year, I'm pretty much using everything that I have used in past years. I'm hoping to use them in new and creative ways and not have to spend a whole lot of money on new decor items. Most of the things that I have are in a white, silver, and red color scheme, and it seems to work perfectly for my personal self and for the house. So I just love it, those colors. So I've been concentrating on those for sure. I did pick up a few items. I picked up a few things at like the Target dollar section, and then I did pick up a couple of Christmas pillows, and that just kind of rounded out what I already have. And I don't think I spent more than like $50 on Christmas ornaments or, Christmas decor this year. So I'm very excited that I'm able to use so much of what I already have and not have to spend a whole lot of money. I did have to buy a Christmas tree. I put up my Christmas tree the other day, had it all put together, and the lights didn't work. So I'm like, oh man. And it was a very short tree anyways. It was only like a 5-foot tree. It was supposed to be a kid's tree. But our larger Christmas tree had broke probably 5 years ago, so the kids' tree became the main tree, and the stand was always wonky and broken, and it was just a mess to always set up every year. So I decided to buy a tree. So I did find a good deal on one at Target. So other than the Christmas tree was my major purchase this year, and it's right over here. I don't have it decorated yet, but I still have it, but I do have it up, so that is perfect. And I love Christmas tree lights at night. I just love it so much. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. My theme for this year is going to be, I just want to keep everything super simple. Obviously, I'll be using a lot of white and silver with pops of red around because I love that decor. I don't know I'm not real rustic-y. When it comes to my Christmas decor, I'm not real into the rustic items. I'm more into like sparkle of glitter against like a crisp white background. So that's kind of what I'm going for. But then of course I have to have red. So I of course throw that in here and there in the living room area and in my bedroom. And then my kitchen is mostly just red and white. So that is the plan. So anyways, today I thought I would take you downstairs. I'll show you the big old mess that I've got going on down there and all the tubs of decor items that I have. And then I thought I would take you along as I decorate some parts of my house today. And then obviously I'll have a home tour probably next week to share with you when it's all said and done. So I am hoping that I can get all my Christmas decorating done in the next 2 days so that I can get it all the stuff that I'm not using packed back away, and I can enjoy the month of December with my family, just like baking and going places and doing things like that. So that is my plan. So let me take you downstairs. I'll show you what I'll be working with, and then we'll get started decorating. Alright, so this is like my craft area over here, and you can see I have a ton of bins, and I have stuff thrown everywhere. So basically, I've got in this bag a whole bunch of bottle brush trees that I have made. I've got some garland, And then this bin is pretty much empty. I've already taken everything out. This is like leftover stuff that I'm not going to be using. There's a whole bunch of like garlands and deer, a bunch of that kind of stuff. This bin is my big bin, and I call this my tacky Christmas bin because it's all like vintagey ornaments and wreaths and things that are all vintage. I'm not sure that I'm going to be using any of this year. I normally will decorate my basement in a tacky Christmas theme, but I don't know that I'm going to do that this year. I think I'm going to try to streamline. And then this stuff over here on the table is all stuff that I am going to be using. The little deer will go on my dining room table. This is ornaments for my tree. The red stuff will go into the kitchen, and this over here is all more ornaments to go on the tree. This bin here is all vintage ornaments, which I have taken, probably will use a lot of those around, but I need to dig through that a little bit more and figure out what I want to use. And this one also has a lot of stuff, which I've already dug out most of what I want. And then up here, I have a few more trees and such like that. Oh, and then I have a wreath over here. So the only thing I really need to do at this point is to get some garland. I always buy like a, what do you call it? A cedar garland. And then I just kind of like cut that up and I tuck that in around my decor because I love the fresh greenery, but I don't like a lot of it. So using the garland type of greenery is just the perfect touch of greenery for me. And I love the wispiness of the cedar. So that I will still need to do. So today I can't show you that, but I'm going to get everything pretty much put where it needs to go. And then I'll add in the greenery later. And you can see that in the home tour next week. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to start on this wall back here. So I'm going to start on this wall right here. And then this table. Alright, so I have my grubby clothes on. I am ready to get sweaty and dirty and probably glitter all over myself. But I'm ready. I'm excited. So I'm going to turn on some Christmas music and get started. To start out, I hung this book page wreath that I made years ago. I have used it in many different places over the years, and it still is one of my favorite Christmas decor items to dig out year after year. Next, I filled a small oval ironstone dish with some vintage silver ornaments and centered them under the wreath on the shelf. The ornaments themselves are tarnished and spotted, and I absolutely love them. To finish off the shelf, I added a pair of silver pedestal candle holders that are beautifully tarnished to each end of the shelf. I then added some flameless candles to each candlestick holder. These have built-in timers, which I absolutely love because they add a fuss-free glow to the room every single night. For the coffee table, I started by adding a red and white vintage-inspired table runner that I picked up from Target last year. Over the runner, I've layered this beautifully galvanized tray from Hobby Lobby. The tray was a recent purchase, which I am totally obsessed with. I then added a distressed piece of wood to the bottom of the tray to provide a sturdy base. Next, a trio of silver candlesticks are grouped together on one end of the tray. I then added a small ironstone bowl to the middle of the tray and filled it with reproduction mercury glass ornaments. I found these ornaments at HomeSense, probably a couple of years ago, and they have been my favorite ornaments ever since. To fill up the remaining open space on the tray, I started by adding a chippy ironstone plate. On top of that, I layered a small tureen from my collection, and finally, I added a small faux tree that I've had for a few years. To hide the base of the tree, I wrapped a piece of faux fur around it, which I think is a lovely touch because it sort of resembles snow. And finally, to add a little more sparkle, I tucked a few mercury glass ornaments at the base of the tree. I've decided my hutch needs my attention next. The theme for my hutch this year is to use a whole bunch of my soup tureens and white dishes. So for the top shelf, I started by adding 2 small soup tureens. On the other top shelf, I repeated the theme and added 3 small tureens. On the next shelf, I stacked 2 vintage books, which I removed the covers from to give them a more rustic look. And then on top of that, I layered a cloche with a glittered house inside of it. I believe I purchased this from Target about 3 years ago. On the other side of the shelf, I added another soup tureen, and behind it I placed a white plate with some silver edging. A sprig of silver and white branches add the finishing touch to this space. On the opposite shelf, I added 3 white pitchers in various sizes and then added some more silver and white berries to the middle pitcher. Moving on, I placed a set of matching tureens that I was lucky enough to find at the thrift store about a month apart. I was so excited to have a pair. Behind the tureens, I added an oversized platter that has lots of crackling and browning, which I love. On the opposite shelf, I placed an oval-shaped tureen in the middle and then layered another oversized platter behind it. This beauty has the same browning and crackling, plus it has a beautiful gold edging. Next, on either side of the tureen, I placed a stack of butter pat plates, and to each stack, I added a vintage silver ornament. On the bottom shelf, I gathered together some of my white ironstone pitchers for a quick and easy look. To a few of the pitchers, I added these beaded homemade picks, which I made to replicate vintage picks, which I love but can never find. My homemade version is a good compromise. To the final shelf of my hutch, I added yet another tureen. I then added this cupcake stand, which I picked up at Target, and to that I added a vintage silver bell with a little bit of lace tied to the top. A small sprig of the silver and white berries wrapped around the base of the bell finished the look. I thought the terrain looked a little lonely, so I layered a white platter with a silver edge below it. The final touch to the hutch is a small ironstone dish to hold a simple white candle, because I cannot eat enough of candles at this time of the year. To the desk in the dining room, I started by laying down one of my favorite white table runners, and then on top I added 2 white cake stands. Between the cake stands, I added a vintage church which I found at a flea market a few years ago, which I think is absolutely amazing. And then I started placing various glitter houses around. This large church glitter house is one that I picked up from Michael's a few years back and decorated myself. All the other houses I have made myself using cardboard from cereal boxes. Next, I placed a trio of bottle brush trees, which I purchased as a set years ago. And then finally, I filled any areas that I thought needed a little something extra with bottle brush trees, all of which I have bleached, blocked, and glittered myself. Moving into the kitchen, I started by hanging a hand-painted Christmas sign that I made a few years back above the shelf. Next, I added 2 glass lanterns, one on each end of the shelf. To the middle of the shelf, I placed an ironstone oval bowl filled with vintage red ornaments. And to finish the top of the shelf, I added 2 of my favorite vintage deer from my collection. And finally, from the hooks underneath the shelf, I added 3 red and white ticking straight mini stockings, which I made a few years back. I think they are so pretty and the perfect finishing touch to the shelf display. I have a tutorial on how to make them on my blog, which I will link below. so that is going to be it for me today. Hopefully that gives you a kind of a little sneak peek of what my house is going to look like for this year's Christmas season. I will definitely have a few more places that I need to finish, like the living room, the kitchen still needs a couple more things, and then my dining room and my bedroom. So, but I think I've got a pretty good base. I'm going to stop for right now, take myself a little break, have some lunch, and then I'll get started on the rest of it. I also need to stop by the grocery store after I pick up the kids today and pick up some garland that I can take apart and use in spaces like in my hutch here and a few other places around the house where I think it's a little bare. It just needs a little touch of greenery, and I think it'll be perfect. So thanks so much for stopping by today. Hopefully you enjoyed this decorate with me. All right, so make sure you stop by again next week when I have the whole house completely decorated and I can give you the official Christmas tour. So I'm so excited to get this all done so I can start working on Christmas shopping and baking and, you know, all the fun stuff that goes into the month of December. So I will see you again very soon. Bye now.